Okay, hello everybody. This is a Blender tutorial on how to get started when you just installed Blender for the first time and you have no idea where to start. So if don't worry if my version looks different than yours, it's just you're using an older version or a future version and mine's just outdated, or just don't worry too much about it. The features are roughly the same, so no worries. This is version 2.81, and it's totally fine if you have another version. Now, if you're starting a new file, you can just click General, because we're not doing any of this right now. Mine's running a little slow because I'm also recording, so I'm sorry about that. Oh, there we go. General. That's what I wanted. So, we have a cube. Now, I know you probably want to model or start animating or anything, but you gotta learn the basics first, and that's what we're here to learn. So, I'm just clicking on this cube, and that selects it. What I'm doing right now to rotate my view is I am just scrolling with the Mac mouse. If you have a Windows mouse, you're probably zooming in and out. To zoom in and out on the Mac mouse, you just press Command and then you scroll in and out. I don't quite remember how the Windows mouse works, so I apologize. Right now I'm translating my view, so the cube itself isn't rotating like this, but I'm just moving it. Like if my cube was over here and I wanted it in the middle, I'm holding Shift to do that, and then Command to zoom in and out, and just scrolling around with holding no keys to move around my view. Oh, Control. If you hold Control, it also zooms in and out, so that's helpful. If you have just a regular mouse, if you want to move your screen around, there's probably a simple way. I don't have one at my disposal at the moment, and I apologize. Now, if you want to handle this cube, you select it, and you can move, rotate, scale, or transform. And transform does all of these three. But it's very helpful if you know hotkeys. And hotkeys, you just press a key on your keyboard, and it automatically does it for you. You don't have to go all the way over here and touch Move and click and hold it. Instead, hold on, let me get out of Move mode by pressing this select box. So you select it and you press G, and that moves it in any way you want. But if you're in Move mode here, you see these arrows, you just hold this arrow and you're moving in the Y-axis. And if you want to move in the X-axis, you hold the red line, because the red line is the X-axis and the green line is the Y-axis. This blue one here, it's the Z-axis, which moves it vertically, up and down. Now I'm going to Command Z or Control Z to get rid of all those movements that I did. You're going to want to do Control Z or Command Z on your keyboard a lot, so remember that one. And if you're holding it anywhere to move it around. But when you use a hotkey, you press G and you move it around. But if you want it to move along an axis, you can push X or Y or Z. And that's very helpful. I just pushed Escape to get out of there. For when you want to work fast and quick, I really recommend you learn hotkeys to do that. If you want to rotate this, you press the rotate button or you press R. And same here, you're rotating along the x-axis, the y-axis, or the z-axis. You're rotating it vertically. Or you can press R and press X, Y, or Z. To scale it, you can scale it vertically along the y-axis or the x-axis. If you're using a hotkey, let me get out of here. You press S to scale. Now, to scale just the whole thing, you grab the edge here. But if you're just using a hotkey, you just move your mouse around. If you want it to be tall and you want to scale it vertically, you just press Z or X or Y. And that makes it really fast to it lets you work fast, and that's very good. And those are the buttons you're going to be using a lot. Now here, let's say you're making a character, and let's just say this cube is your character, and you have other body parts that you're going to add. It's helpful to have it organized because you have a camera here, and that's your camera, and you have a light for your light source, and you really want to separate these and just keep it organized and name things too. So let's have our own collection for this cube. So you right click new, and let's double click and name it, whoop, I got my caps lock on, character. Let's just name a character. You can drag the cube and put it in character, and there you go. Now you can kind of ignore your materials, not materials, your tools, the stuff that isn't your character, and the stuff that is your character, it's all in one place. So if you're importing your character from something and you want to plop your character into like an environment, it's very helpful to just be able to go in your files and select a collection called character and have all of the things necessary all in one place. Now let's see, when you're modeling, it's very helpful to have different views. Instead of going to like the front view and then a side view and trying to navigate that, it's very helpful to just use your number pad if you have a number pad. If you don't, you press tilde, which is the key to the left of number 1, and you hold it, and you have a front view. Oh, apparently that's front view. You have a front view, back, right view. It's very helpful. If you have a number pad, you just press these respective numbers here, and you'll kind of start to memorize them. View camera. I think you just press 0, but it says number 1, so press number 1 on your keyboard. But here, the camera that we have earlier, this camera here, you go into camera mode or view, camera view, and now you're looking at it through your camera. When you animate, this is what it's going to look like. So if you're animating something from this view, it's not going to look like this in your final product. It's going to look like this when you kind of start rendering that animation and exporting it. So this is perspective view, where you kind of see like the horizon. When you're modeling or animating, it's a lot easier to have it in a flat 2D view, and to do that you go from perspective view to orthographic view, which is number 5 on your number pad. And you see here now, when we go to front view and right view, you can see all the axes, and it's a lot easier to navigate and therefore model and things like that. Lastly, you have your light here. Right now the light is not really matching like the shadows here. You'd think the shadow would be here, but it's not. The light source hitting the cube is not correct. And that's because this is in solid view. So if you press, or if you hold Z, there's solid and other ways to view this. If you just click, oh, that's not right. Oh, here it is, here it is. Okay, right now this is solid view, and this is the viewport shading. If you want to see it in wireframe, you click that. If you want to see it in a material preview, now if this was colored red, it would show red here. In solid view, it's just gray, so you wouldn't see the red. But in this view, the material preview, you would see what it looks like. And if you hold Z, you can get all of these too. For me, it's a lot easier to hold Z and select from there rather than going up here and clicking, because it's a hotkey and it just makes it very easy and fast to navigate. Now, if you go to this panel here called Render Properties, it looks like a digital camera. There's a render engine, and there's different render engines you can use. Eevee, it just makes your model look like it's like from a 3D video game, but if you select Cycles, it makes it more like a 3D movie, like a movie quality, like Frozen or whatever. But Eevee, it's more like a GTA, like just a video game that you have. In rendered view, you can, it's a little bit slow, but it shows you a preview of like what your model looks like, with the proper like light source like actually calculated, whereas your material preview, it doesn't really like include the light source so much. In Cycles, there's some pixels because it's like calculating the light source like live. For Eevee, the what's it called? It's faster. It loads faster, but it's a little lower quality. And the light source can be, it's not as accurate as Cycles, whereas Cycles, it's a little slower to render, but it's a lot prettier, and the light source is much more accurate. So if you're making a video game, I recommend Eevee, but if you're making like a little short animation, I recommend Cycles. And let me get out of here. That's pretty much it for the basics. If I'm forgetting something, or you're confused about how something works, just comment. If you select anything, literally anything here, you can press G and Z, X, and Y. Everything works the same way as navigating and handling the model. So the camera you can also scale if you want. And oh, I forgot one more thing. If you want to add something, you can add another cube, or you can Shift A, and you can add another cube. And there it is. And I guess that's the end for my basics tutorial. We can cover anything else later. For my next video, I think I'll cover how to make a character, because I'm sure that's like your main goal, like what you want to get started with first. I know when I got Blender, I was like, I'm gonna make a character right now, but I had no idea how to navigate Blender, and had no idea how it works, and learning about it online was just really hard. They were covering things that was way too advanced for me, so Next video, I'm going to be making like a little fox character. So thank you for watching. Comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.